14:58 a.m. and DAB, smart speaker, mobile app and LikerRadio.com.
This is Leica Radio.
From the Sky News Centre at 9, the father of a teenager killed in a petrol station explosion in Donegal has described the last 24 hours as nothing short of hell. Rugby player Leona Harper's been named as one of 10 victims. Our correspondent Tom Parmenton's on the scene in Crisloch.
There is no more searching amongst the debris, and we believe that the explosion itself took place in an apartment.
A little over a month into her premiership, 4 of Liz Truss's top team have written in the papers calling for the Conservative Party to unite behind her. Among them, the Home Secretary and Commons leader, whose comments to the Tory party conference are said to have stoked infighting. Here, Cabinet Office Minister Nadhim Zahawi was asked about that by Trevor Phillips.
Your colleagues, who were the first to criticise the Chancellor and the Prime Minister in various ways, suddenly deciding that they're calling for unity. I mean, for goodness sake.
Well, so let's
Can't be serious.
No, it is very serious, because actually got cabinet collective responsibility.
Officials in Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine claim 12 people have died in Russian shelling. Dozens more are hurt. It's the final day of voting for barristers in England and Wales who'll decide whether to stop striking. They're having their say on a new pay offer from the government. Sport, Rangers boss Giovanni Van Bronckhorst says Antonio Choalak is making it hard not to include him in any Champions League starting 11.
Of course, you look at players who are in form and also what you need from the game. And it's obviously after 3 defeats in the Champions League, you know, we have to keep push ourselves to get some punch out of games.
He scored twice in their 4-0 victory over St Mirren in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic also had a 2-1 victory over St Johnstone. Manchester City sit top of the Premier League after beating Southampton 4-0. Tottenham, Chelsea, Bournemouth and Newcastle all registered wins. That's the latest. I'm Faye De Silva.
Ethel Smith got an epic deal on an air fryer before anyone else in the Prime Early Access sale.
Tell us what you bought, Ethel! Tell us about your deals, Ethel!
And you know what they say? Get an early deal, become a big deal.
Ethel, what's in the box?
Tell them what's in the box, Ethel. The Prime Early Access sale on October 11th and 12th. Only included with Prime.
Leica Radio and Leica Gold. Winner at the Signature Awards 2022 for Community Excellence. Thank you. Leica Radio Weather is brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com or call 0207 580 5000.
Today's weather, sunny and moderate breeze in London and surrounding areas, top temperature 18 centigrade. Sunset is at 6:21 p.m.
Weather was brought to you by TravelUp.com. Our lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com.
Leica Radio.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Leica Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the 131st edition of Talking Points on Leica Radio with me, Keith Vaz. I hope you're enjoying Leica Radio. Thank you for joining us today, Sunday the 9th of October 2022. Christmas preparations have already begun across the UK as we approach the end of this amazing year. It's also the auspicious Hindu festival of Diwali at the end of this month, so it's safe for us to proclaim that the festivities have begun. This afternoon, in Leicester on the Golden Mile, we will be switching on the biggest set of lights in Diwali anywhere outside India. Please come and join us. Having had 2 very difficult years in the past, while we were in the midst of the pandemic restrictions, I'm sure everyone across the globe is more excited than ever before to celebrate our favourite festivals. It is officially time for our favourite time of the year. A very happy birthday to my dear friend, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who yesterday celebrated his 81st birthday. In other news, the Nobel Peace Prizes for 2022 have been announced. On Friday, with a heavy focus on the Ukrainian crisis this year, the prestigious Nobel Peace Prize for this year was awarded jointly to several activists and human rights groups in Belarus, Ukraine and Russia. We're all standing with the people of Thailand after the tragic shooting of 23 children who died on Thursday in a gun and knife attack at a childcare centre in Thailand's northeast. A former policeman has stormed the building, killing children as young as 2 while they slept, leaving at least 37 people dead. What a tragedy. On the programme today, my special guest is Cosima Pantawala, a business professional who decided to leave the world of finance to pursue his dream of opening an art gallery to promote budding artists. Mr. Pantawala will be joining us from Surrey and talking about his motivations and aspirations in the world of art. From Surrey, we then go to Istanbul, Turkey, to talk to Sanjay Anand, MBE, the doyen of the British Indian food industry, the founder of Madhu's Restaurants, which has been a go-to joint for people across London for over 40 years. Sanjay will be talking to us about his new restaurant in one of the most fabulous capitals in Europe, Istanbul. From Istanbul, we're going to Leicester to speak to Zishan Bawani, an accountant for the last 14 years, who is currently working for Smartfields Accountants. We'll be discussing his experiences and views on accountancy as a profession and how are we coping with the tax rise and the tax cuts that have been announced by the government. But first, it's time for some music.
मुखड़े पे काला काला तिल तेरियां अदावां मेरा लुट लिया दिल है मेरा बड़ी मुश्किल में आपकी बेबी मैनू कल्ली किते मिल मुखड़े पे काला काला तिल तेरियां अदावां मेरा लुट लिया दिल है मेरा बड़ी मुश्किल में आपकी बेबी मैनू कल्ली किते मिल ओ मेरी प्रीतो बस मैं जीतो ओ मेरी प्रीतो सुन जीतो ये हाल जो है मेरा हाल ऐसा है क्यों क्योंकि मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा ओ ओ ओ आशिक पुराना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा ओ ओ ओ आशिक पुराना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा जाने जाना मेरी जाने मन बॉडी तेरी लगे लाइक अ डायमंड 1 in a million बेबी गर्ल देखूं तुझे तो मेरा निकले है दम जाने जाना मेरी जाने मन बॉडी तेरी लगे लाइक अ डायमंड 1 in a million बेबी गर्ल देखूं तुझे तो मेरा निकले है दम मेरी प्रीतो बस मैं जीतो ओ मेरी प्रीतो सुन जीतो ये हाल जो है मेरा हाल ऐसा है क्यों क्योंकि मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा ओ ओ आशिक पुराना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा ओ ओ आशिक पुराना तेरा मैं दीवाना तेरा
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I hope you enjoyed the music. Let's talk art. My special guest on the programme today is Cosima Pantawala, a business professional who decided to leave the world of finance to pursue his dream of opening an art gallery. Educated in commerce and achieving an MBA, he left his job in finance after 3 years to open his first art gallery in 2006 in Kensington called Shades and Wood. The first artist to exhibit there was Mr. Manohar Chiluvera, a renowned artist and sculptor who is known specifically for his large-scale, large painting events and public installations. Following this, he opened Abstract Art at Cobham, Surrey, in order to provide an international platform to budding artists from India and promote their artwork. As a passionate art enthusiast with a finance background, Cosima Pantawala believes that art is the best form of investment if done smartly. Let's go over to Cobham and talk to him. Good morning, Cosima Pantawala.
Good morning, Mr. Vaz.
Now, tell me something about how you got into art. You were a financial expert, but you gave that all up. But do we address you as an artist, an art enthusiast, or a gallery owner? Which is it?
I would prefer a gallery owner and art enthusiast.
Why did you decide to leave the field of finance and take this up? Is it because there is money in art, or is it really because you love art and money was the sideline?
I think I love art and money was the sideline. The first artwork that I ever saw was M.F. Hussein's and I loved it instantly. But soon I realized that how brilliant as an investment it was. And, so basically my financial side, it kicked in. And I soon realized that I'm not leaving the world of finance. It's, I'm just changing the product, to be honest. But, art as an investment is brilliant. So that's why I love art, yes.
Now, you have heard, of course, of the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I went to a friend of mine's 60th birthday, and on the wall was a box of chocolates. The chocolates were quite big, but it was like a big box of chocolates on the wall. And when I first saw it, I thought, this is very strange. But actually, having seen it, it looked amazing. And everyone was just looking at this huge box of chocolates with actual chocolates in it, papier-mâché chocolates of different flavours. And we were just standing there, just staring at it. It's amazing, isn't it, how art has developed over the years?
Absolutely. Art, as art is that it doesn't have any language. It's just objects, it's creativity, it's colours. And the way artists think, and they can make art form out of any object, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the entire creative industry, is that from anything they can make something spectacular. And what you said is correct, very, very rightly said. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. As a work of art, if you love it, you will enjoy it every single day whenever you have a look at it.
And in terms of the concept of live paintings, this has also developed very recently. It's not an old concept. It's a very new concept to us. Tell us exactly how that is done.
A live painting is where an artist has put up a large canvas, a blank canvas, in a biennial or in an exhibition, and he is painting in a front of an audience. The audience are passing by, they are coming, they are viewing him, and he paints them, mostly their works, their abstract works, and he would paint them as and how you would see the audience, their colors, their shapes and forms. And in many instances, he would even invite the audience to splash some color onto this canvas. And, so it truly becomes a work of art with many artists, not just one. And that's what, most of the time a live painting is, where an artist is working live in front of an audience, and he'll keep on doing it on a day-to-day basis as long as the exhibition or the biennial lasts for.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm having a very interesting discussion with Cosima Pantanwala, a former finance professional who decided to give it all up. He gave up the city in order to pursue his passion for art. Join me after the break, when I'll be talking a bit of M.F. Hussein and also how much is that painting in the window. Join me after the break.
London's biggest Asian hits, Leica Radio.
सस्ती से सस्ती फ्लाइट्स और हॉलिडे पैकेज चाहिए तो 24 घंटे 7 दिन किसी भी समय ट्रैवल हब का नंबर मिलाइए फॉर क्रूज टेलर मेड हॉलिडे होटल बुकिंग्स एंड हनीमून पैकेजेस हमसे सस्ता कहीं नहीं मिल सकता कॉल ट्रैवल हब 24/7 और 0208-782-8833 और विजिट travelhubltd.co.uk.
Travel Hub, best service with unbeatable price.
At all protected.
Visit travelhubltd.co.uk.
Planning to travel? Cover your trip with Holiday Risk Worldwide Travel Insurance. Our policies cover COVID if you test positive before your trip and need to cancel. 24 hours medical assistance abroad, personal belongings, gadget cover and much more. T's and C's apply. Holiday Risk is regulated by the FCA. We've got you covered. Competitive prices online. Book now at holidayrrisk.com. Are you covered?
On huge public demand, the most romantic evening is back. Karak Chai presents Ishq Karo, an evening of ghazals by Tausif Akhtar. Sunday 13th November at Hayes Beck Theatre. Tickets from £15. For seat bookings, please visit becktheatre.org.uk or call 07850 742 143. That is 07850 742 143. Media partners Sony TV, radio partners Leica Radio and Leica Gold. Ishq Karo by Tausif Akhtar. Brought to you by Samara Events UK.
The first time you made Kashmiri pulao and gave Ma a surprise. Remember the look in her eyes? That's why we do it. After years when you tried that Hyderabadi chicken biryani and it reminded you of Nani, that's why we do it. When you come back home after a long day, craving chawal dal with desi ghee, to see your face light up with glee, that's why we do it. Elevate your feasts with Tilda this festive season.
KSG Learning Tuition Centre has helped thousands of students achieve success. We specialise in primary, 11+, SATs, secondary and higher education with qualified tutors who can teach online and at the centre located in Cranford, Bath Road. Come to their open day on the 7th, 8th and 9th of October for a day full of free fun activities. You will also be able to get a free lesson of a subject of your choice. KSG Learning will boost your child's confidence and grades. Visit ksglearning.com. The time to invest in your child's future is now.
Invest in Indian properties. Services for NRI invites you to India Property Mela at Reading. Meet reputed developers, NRI home loan advisors and legal experts from India, 15th to 16th of October, Saturday, Sunday at Crown Plaza, Richfield Avenue, Reading, RG18BD. Free entry, free parking. Visit and get a chance to win 2 free tickets to India. Call 020-3355-8950 or visit indiapropertymela.co.uk.
15 साल से बिग बॉस ने सबका गेम देखा. इस बार बिग बॉस अपना गेम दिखाएंगे. क्योंकि इस बार बिग बॉस खुद खेलेंगे.
Are you ready to watch the biggest season of Big Boss yet? With Salman Khan in the house himself. Big Boss, Monday to Sunday, 9:30 p.m. only on Colours TV, Sky 706, Virgin 826, BT TV 396 and Yup TV.
Encyclomedia and Lashari Films bring you The Legend of Mola Jat.
जिसमें एक बेले च दो शेर नहीं रह सकते, एक जागीर च दो बब्बर शेर नहीं रह सकते.
Featuring Fawad Khan as the legendary Mola Jat, with Mahira Khan, Hamza Ali Abbasi and Humaima Malik. Directed by Bilal Lashari. Watch The Legend of Mola Jat in cinemas from October 13th. A moviegoer's entertainment release.
दिवाली है, हर घर में अपने अपने ट्रेडिशंस, रॉयल कल्चर के साथ इस फेस्टिवल को सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है.
तो क्यों ना इस त्योहार अपने मेहमानों को भी अपनी रॉयल्टी का टेस्ट कराएं. रॉयल चाय के साथ जो बने कभी भी कहीं भी झटपट.
Hello, Watford! Scoop Herb is coming to Watford, 178 St Albans Road, WD24 4AS. Opening on Friday the 14th of October. Opening offer, buy one scoop and get the second free. Unique, authentic, natural flavours in ice cream, sundaes, shakes and hot desserts. That's Scoop Herb in Watford.
Have a prosperous Diwali and Dhanteras this year. Buy gold coins from the Gold Bank and invest in gold to make the festive season sparkle. 0203 500 1111. Goldbank.co.uk.
Leica Radio is now available on mobile. Download the Leica Radio app now on your Android and iOS devices. The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to Cosima Pantanwala, business professional, the owner of a very famous gallery in Kensington in South London. Very few members of our community actually own an art gallery. He's there to promote budding artists. Cosima Pantanwala, tell me about art as an investment. Obviously, this is not why you originally got involved, but it's true, isn't it? It probably is worth buying a good painting rather than buying a flat.
It is. I mean, art is a very sound investment, but only if bought smartly. The best thing about art is that even if it doesn't grow up in value as much as you've thought, you always enjoy that work of art. And that's the beauty of art. But however, art is a very growing form of investment in India. India is a really, really highly populated country with loads and loads of millionaires and billionaires. However, there are very few artists who actually gain an international platform. And the artists fortunate enough who do get galleries to promote their artworks and who are invited in biennales across the world, especially across Europe, they do get snapped up very quickly by investment houses, by individuals, which means that those artists are the best to go for, and those artists' artwork, they do grow in value and they can multiply fairly quickly if, promoted well. It is a brilliant investment form, I would believe so.
Let's go to favourites. Now, we're going to talk about MF Hussain. We've got a separate question for you on MF Hussain. But MF Hussain aside, Italy is one of my favourite countries when I'm looking at art. I mean, the churches of Italy are incredible with the art that they've got, the Vatican in particular. Tell me about your favourite city. If you decide to go away and look at art in a city in the world, other than London, which city would that be?
I would go to Paris.
Mm.
I would definitely go to Paris, yes. I enjoy works by old masters. They have really deep message to it. And their works, and they used to work on really, really large scale artworks. And that's what I love. It's more appealing to me, a very large work of art. I can immerse myself completely into it. And every single day, looking at every small corner of that artwork or every small inch. So, I get more enjoyment, more fulfillment out of a really large work of art. And I think that's what, excites me. And that's why I would go to Paris. I really, really love that city.
Okay, Paris over Rome. I would have chosen Rome, but you're the expert. I am just a lay watcher of the works of art. Now, let's go on to our MF Hussain. First of all, when Sunil Gavaskar came to Leicester recently, he's asked me to ask anyone who knew about MF Hussain, where is the painting that MF Hussain did of Sunil Gavaskar? Apparently, he did a painting in Mumbai. It was given to some nightclub. I don't know why. And Gavaskar is so keen to find it. And he asked me to do this. Do you know where the painting is of Sunil Gavaskar that has been done by MF Hussain?
No idea. I wouldn't have a clue. No, MF Hussain has done many, many spectacular works from many great names in the Indian subcontinent, but it's difficult to trace his art.
I assume you met him, because I met him on a number of occasions. And whenever I was having lunch or dinner with him, I got him to draw me something on the napkins. I think the last time was at the Taj in London, in the hotel. Wow. And I said, I must get something by MF Hussain. But then he did me a lovely painting. But he signed it. Not that I'm ever going to sell it, but he signed it to Mr. Keith Vaz. And I can't sell it because obviously it's been sent to me. But it was a wonderful thing. What's your fascination with this great man?
I mean, that is the first artwork I ever saw. I was walking after my university. After I finished my university, I was just walking on the streets of Mumbai and managed to get into an art gallery in Colaba. And that's the first artwork I saw of MF Hussain. I asked him the price and he said 2.5 lakhs. It was too much for me. And a couple of years later, I came into London, studied over here. I started my finance, working for a finance company in the city. And I got to go in a Sotheby's auction where I saw MF Hussain's one of his artworks going for over £50,000. And suddenly, it just got to me that how a work of art, not the same, but obviously something worth £2,500 just 3 or 4 years ago is now worth about £50,000. And it was fascinating. And from that point on, I was following MF Hussain, the way he used to live, the way he used to dress, how humble he was in his approach. And rightly so, what you said was that he would always make you a work of art, which is true about MF Hussain. He used to make work of art on tissue papers, on napkins, on many things for a lot of people, who would just go and approach him. And that was the beauty of that artist. He was really humble. And I think the work that you have, Mr. Vaz, would be really, really valuable. To have MF Hussain signed his name and then write to Mr. Vaz, it means something. It means, art lovers across the world who love MF Hussain's artworks would value your work, especially for you. That's incredible.
When you have your next MF Hussain exhibition, I will lend it to you. Kazima Pantamwala, what a delightful conversation. How nice it is to talk to you about art, and especially Indian art. We always ask our special guests to choose a song that is special to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose, and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
I would like to choose All Is Well from Three Idiots. I would like to dedicate that to my wife Zainab and my children Fatima and Yusuf. As a family, we enjoy that movie and that song especially. Thank you.
Kazima Pantamwala, thank you so much for joining us, and have a great Sunday.
Thank you, Keith, and thank you all the listeners of Leica Radio. Best wishes. Thank you very much.
Let's hear Kazima Pantamwala's song from one of my favourite movies as well.
Out of control, होठों को करके गोल, होठों को करके गोल, सीटी बजा के बोल, लाइफ हो आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल होठों को करके गोल होठों को करके गोल सीटी पर जाके बोल मुर्गी क्या जाने अंडे का क्या होगा अरे लाइफ मिलेगी या तवे पे फ्राई होगा कोई ना जाने अपना फ्यूचर क्या होगा होठ घुमा सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया जो तेरा बात बात पे घबराए दिल पे रख के हाथ उसे तू फुसला ले दिल इडियट है प्यार से उसको समझा ले होठ घुमा सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया
गया दारू गम तो फिर भी मिटा नहीं अगरबत्तियां राख हो गई गौर तो फिर भी दिखा नहीं
बकरा क्या जाने उसकी जान का क्या होगा सीख घुसेगी या साला की माँ होगा कोई न जाने अपना फ्यूचर क्या होगा तो होठ घुमा सीढ़ी बजा के बोल भैया out of control तो होठों को करके गो होठों को करके गो सीटी पर जाके बोल मुर्गी क्या जाने अंडे का क्या होगा और लाइफ मिलेगी या तवे पे फ्राई होगा कोई न जाने अपना फ्यूचर क्या होगा होठ घुमा सीढ़ी बजा के बोल
Talking Points, Leica.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. There is now an abundance of Turkish restaurants on our high streets in the UK. But let's think of it the other way around. Imagine the population of Istanbul in Turkey, 15.46 million people. Where do they go for their fine dining in Indian food? Well, following the success of fine dining in Britain, in London in particular, in Mayfair and Southall, Madhu's has opened its first international restaurant in Istanbul in Turkey. It's the only one of the fine dining restaurants in the whole of that major capital city. From catering for the Prince of Wales, as he then was, now of course King, at Buckingham Palace, to launching 2 new fine dining restaurants in May and June of this year, Sanjay Anand, MBE, has actually become the doyen of all restaurateurs in the Indian community. As well as owning Madhu's at Heathrow, he also owns Madhu's at Mayfair, at the Grove, the Brasserie, and now, of course, in Istanbul. He joins me this morning to talk about this amazing new adventure. Good morning, Sanjay Anand, MBE.
Morning, Keith.
Why Istanbul? You have a choice. Your diners who come and dine with you in Mayfair come from all over the world. Some even come from Leicester and Southall. But why Istanbul as opposed to Paris or Madrid?
Well, Istanbul has such history And it's such a magical city. And where we've opened the restaurant is right on the Bosphorus. And in my view, the Bosphorus is perhaps the most beautiful part of this world. And I've traveled the world. And when you look out onto the Bosphorus from the Swiss Hotel, which is where my restaurant is, backdrop of the Bosphorus is unmatched anywhere in the world.
Now, what did you feel like when you got there at the official opening? Because it takes some time, doesn't it, between I want to open a restaurant in Istanbul to finally doing the opening night. You had ambassadors, you had ministers, you had distinguished guests, many from the UK and a lot from Turkey. What did it feel like for you? You've ticked so many boxes from where you started off to ending up on the Bosphorus in one of the greatest cities on earth.
Well, I have to admit, Keith, I, from time to time, have to pinch myself because if we just go back 2 years and it was the beginning of COVID and the whole of the hospitality industry was on the floor, in particular my business, because my business predominantly was outside catering, and with no outside catering happening and very little takeaway business, company that was turning millions of pounds dropped to just doing a little bit of a takeaway from one of the restaurants. You can imagine the situation we were in, which was more or less really a wake-up call, because every time I had offers from anyone, I was so comfortable, I would just turn around and say, no, we're very busy. Thank you very much. We're honored you're giving us this opportunity, but no, thank you. So that suddenly changed to, hang on a minute, we can't have all our eggs in one basket. We need to think outside of the box. And this is what brought me to start looking at all the offers that were coming onto the table more seriously, and saying yes to some of the very prestigious ones, like the Dilly Hotel in Mayfair. I mean, 20 years ago, if somebody would have said to me, you're going to open a restaurant in the heart of Mayfair, I would have said, oh, I don't think so. But now we have one. Someone would have said, you will have the Grove's most prestigious restaurant at the Grove. I would have said, no, you're kidding me. And now, of course, our first international venture, it's just, I think, a person's mindset. And once you open that mindset to accepting offers and then working hard, then that comfort zone that a lot of us tend to get into goes away. In my case, it was more through having to do something as opposed to thinking of an idea and doing it.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to the doyen of the British Indian restaurant community, Sanjay Anand MBE, about his fantastic new restaurant in Istanbul, Turkey. When we come back after the break, we're going to be talking about menus and what's the next capital city he's going to invade. Join us after the break.
Leica Radio.
Flight updates are brought to you by TravelUp.com. Flights, hotels and holidays.
Let's go for a flight update. All flights are as scheduled, but please check with your flight operators before heading to the airport.
Flight updates were brought to you by TravelUp.com. Lowest prices are guaranteed only when you book directly through TravelUp.com. Call 0207 580 5000.
Leica Radio.
Traffic and travel.
I'm Claire Sharp. Lots of closures are coming into place throughout the centre of London for the Royal Parks Half Marathon this morning. That's around St James's Park, Green Park, Park Lane, Victoria Street, along the Strand, Trafalgar Square, also half Hyde Park Corner and Charing Cross Road closed. The M4, very slow, still headed into town from the Heston services towards Junction 2 at Brentford because of the works, and it's struggling towards Heathrow on the spur road from the main carriageway of the M4 towards the terminals. Do expect delays on National Rail services this morning. That's after the strike action yesterday. It could be reduced or some delays. That's the latest traffic and travel.
Star Wars Andor, now streaming exclusively on Disney+.
The Empire's choking us. I found someone I think can help.
It's the Star Wars event.
Cassian Andor.
You don't want to miss.
How do you know about me?
From the creators of Rogue One.
Cassian Andor is a threat to the Empire. There is an organized rebel effort. I'll die trying to take them down.
Star Wars Andor. Original series now streaming exclusively on Disney+. 18+ subscription required. T's and C's apply.
This is Leica Radio.
The one thing COVID did give us, digital transformation. If you're serious about digital growth and would like a tactical approach to your digital marketing, then remember the name Harty Hanks. With over 20 years experience and a proven track record, we have the talent and know-how to deliver online success. Harty Hanks, experts in consultancy, branding, design, e-commerce, search and social. Call Harty Hanks today on 020 8827 1600 or visit hhdigital.uk. Harty Hanks, your partners for digital success.
Ria wishes you a happy Diwali. Sending money this Diwali to your loved ones in India. For a fast, safe and affordable service, use Ria Money Transfer. Send to any bank account, Paytm mobile wallet or cash at over 115,000 plus locations across India and collect in minutes. Find your nearest Ria agent or store and send today at great rates.
Bollywood's iconic film, A Disco Dancer, comes alive on stage.
I am a disco dancer.
Take yourself back to the disco era of the 80s with live singing, retro costumes, elaborate dance sequences and English dialogues. November 16th to the 20th at Sadler's Wells Theatre, London. Book your tickets now at sadlerswells.com. Exclusive radio partner, Leica Radio and Leica Gold.
Haldiram wishes you a very happy Diwali and brings you the most loved Indian sweets which are freshly made in UK. Now order your favorite Haldiram products online only on haldiramuk.com. Also available at your local Asian store at super special prices.
White Hill Studios presents Babbe Pangra Pondene. Starring Diljit Dosanjh, Sargun Mehta and Sohail Ahmed. Babbe Pangra Pondene.
World the 3 richest men. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. कितने बड़े बना? एक आइडिया करके ते आइडिया साढ़े कोल भी हैगा. और वाले world the 3 richest men कौन ने? We 3. Come on baby.
5 अक्टूबर तो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕੀ ਸਿਨੇਮਾ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ. For more info visit whitehillstudios.com.
दुनिया चार दिल दा मेला है. ये ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਚੌਥਾ ਦਿਨ ਹੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਪਾਪਾ ਜੀ.
Food lovers, are you ready for the 7th Asian Food and Restaurant Awards? Taking place on Monday the 5th of December at the Montcalm Hotel, Marble Arch. It's time to nominate your favourite restaurant, catering and food brand. Nominate now at samarap.org or call 07850 742 143. Radio partners Leica Radio and Leica Gold. Brought to you by Samara Events UK.
Karma Lounge, Uxbridge presents Lavish Diwali Dinner and Dance on 22nd and 29th of October from 6 p.m. Welcome drinks with 3-course meal in an elegant party setup. Dance the night away to Hollywood and Bollywood tunes with our renowned DJ. Adults just £35 and kids up to 10 years just £15. Celebrate Diwali with friends and family at Karma Lounge, High Street, Cowley, Uxbridge, UB8. Call 0203 468 6555. Celebrate Diwali together.
EEL Association and Jashn-e-Utsav presents London Ki Diwali Gala. On Saturday the 29th of October from 7:30 p.m. at the Willows, IG6 3SL. Festival of Lights with 3-course dinner, DJ party, Bollywood dance showcase and entertainment for kids. With DJ Vix, the Bollywood Co-Company, belly dancer and flame fire performer Natalia and a grand fireworks display finale. There will be a paid bar on the day. Tickets available on eventbrite.co.uk and are £50 for adults over 16, £30 for over 5s and free entry for kids under 5 years old. Leica Radio and Leica Gold are the official radio partners. Hello, Watford! Scoop Herb is coming to Watford, 178 St Albans Road, WD24 4AS. Opening on Friday the 14th of October. Opening offer, buy one scoop and get the second free. Unique, authentic, natural flavours in ice cream, sundaes, shakes and hot desserts. That's Scoop Herb in Watford.
Talking Points with Keith Vaz, celebrating diversity. Leica, London.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I am talking to the doyen of the British Indian restaurant industry, Sanjay Anand, MBE, about his fabulous restaurant in Istanbul. Sanjay, talk to us briefly about the menu. Is the menu in Istanbul the same as the menu that we can pick up in the Dilly in Piccadilly or at Madhu's in Heathrow or in Southall? Is it exactly the same?
A lot of the dishes are absolutely exactly the same. We have tried to replicate the taste so that when somebody is eating in Mayfair or even my restaurant in Southall and they go and visit Istanbul, they don't find any difference in taste. A lot of hard work had to be done because the garlic you get there is different, the ginger you get there is different, and to create that absolute same taste took a lot of man hours, and myself and my group executive head chef spent hours on end trying to absolutely replicate what we do in London. I think we've done a good job, but only your listeners and other clients will be able to tell us whether we have achieved that or not by going to Istanbul and trying madus of Istanbul.
What's interesting is that this is the city that brings the East and the West together. You're from the East, you came to the West, you conquered the West, you're now going to basically the crossroads of the world, the old Constantinople, Istanbul, in order to persuade the Turkish citizens that they should be eating Indian. I suppose nowadays, when you want to go out for a meal and you want to propose to your girlfriend, who will be your wife, instead of saying, you can say, I'm going to propose to you, we're going to Madus, and she thinks it's Southall, but actually it's going to be Madus in Istanbul. Tell me something, are you serving Turkish delight as one of your desserts, or is it ras malai still?
Well, we've created a new dessert for Istanbul, and it's our signature dish for Istanbul. It's gajar ka halwa in a baklava. So the filling of the baklava is gajar ka halwa. And even if I say it myself, it's absolutely delicious. So you've got the Istanbul flavor together with the typical gajar halwa that Madhus are known for, and they've created this magnificent dessert.
Well, I've just found out that there are 2 flights every day on Turkish Airlines to Istanbul, so I'm going to be booking my flight to go over there. It might be quicker for me to get from Leicester to Istanbul than it is to get from Leicester to Southall because of the traffic on the M1 and the number of times the road's closed. So I am going to enjoy this. Let me ask you a last question about your future ambitions. You have ticked every box. I mean, your parents would not believe what you have done. They just would not believe it if they look down at you, as I'm sure they are, blessing you constantly. I know you were very, very close to your mum in particular. Which is the next city? You've done now Istanbul. Obviously, London is with you. You've got Hertfordshire. What's the next city? Paris or Moscow?
Well, we've got an offer, and you always get things out of me, and I may as well tell you, we have an offer to buy currently, and we are considering it. I'm not saying we're doing it, but we are considering it. Dubai is one of my favorite cities. I've been visiting that for years and years and years. We have an offer on the table, so that might be the next one. Having said that, we have been inundated with offers within the United Kingdom and now from overseas. So we're in a very fortunate position where we can say, yes, we will, or no, we won't. And I want to make sure that all the restaurants are functioning 100% before I open my 8th restaurant. So there is no rush. Nobody's got a gun on my head. I will do it when we are ready and we are able to produce the quality that we are known for.
8 is a very important number for me. You've opened 8 restaurants. I've won 8 general elections. So let's see who gets to the next stage first. And don't forget to invite me. Sanjay Anand, it has been an honor to interview you. You are not only the doyen of the British Indian restaurant industry, but you have broken the glass ceiling and you've made us all so proud of being British Indian. Thank you for joining us, and give our love to Istanbul.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to be interviewed by yourself. Thank you.
After hearing from Sanjay Anand, we have to have a food song. Let's hear Jalebi Baby.
Hey, you got what I want, Sony. Mithi galan karke tu na ja chhad ke. Hey, I think about it every day. Baby looking like Hana Kazana on a plate. Hey, like mithai, like kulfi, rasmalai. Pista barfi, sardiyan vich garmi lagdi. Jad vi tu mere raah vichon chaldi. Yeah, lab vich mere kolo langdi. Throw it back and bubble up in front of me. Everybody trying to figure out your recipe. I'm just trying to get a piece. Baby, I know that you wanna get crazy, crazy. Shorty, take it slow, then chitty, chitty. Hey, baby, let me see it. I just wanna eat it. let me see it. Jalebi, baby. No, I really need it. Jalebi. Oh, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi. I know the things that you like. Yeah, hey, tell me how you feel. Looking like a movie star, doing it for reals. Looking like a snack, looking like a whole meal. Gucci and Chanel with your red bottom heels. Ice drip like Bonnie, burn it out to Meri Rani. Shawty bad, she my divani Mastani. Light it up, I'm living every day like it's Diwali. Young Tesha, young Shah Rukh, I'm at every party. And you got what I want, it's Sony, yeah. Pithi gala karke tu na ja chhad ke. Rab to main manga tera pyar honey, yeah, girl. You know what I'ma say. Hey, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, baby. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. No, I really need it. Jalebi. Oh, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi. I know the things that you like. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, baby. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi. No, I really need it. Jalebi. Oh, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, baby. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi.
Punjab National Bank International Limited launches mobile app for personal customers. Whether you want to send money to India or view your latest balance, do that on the go. Simply download our app for free from your mobile app store. Terms and conditions apply. For more details, please visit
www.pnbint.com. Deposit protection from FSCS. Authorized by the PRA and regulated by FCA and PRA.
Grace Entertainment presents the Rewind Tour, featuring 90s superstar singers Kumar Sanu, Alka Yagnik, and Udit Narayan. 28th of October, Utility Arena, Birmingham. 29th of October, First Direct Arena, Leeds. And 30th of October, The Over Arena, Wembley. Tickets available from Ticket Factory, Ticketmaster, AXS and Videorama. Powered by Dairy Valley, exclusive radio partner, Leica Radio and Leica Gold.
Planning to travel? Cover your trip with Holiday Risk Worldwide Travel Insurance. Our policies cover COVID if you test positive before your trip and need to cancel. 24 hours medical assistance abroad, personal belongings, gadget cover and much more. T's and C's apply. Holiday Risk is regulated by the FCA. We've got you covered. Competitive prices online. Book now at holidayrisk.com. Are you covered?
Bollywood's iconic film, Disco Dancer, comes alive on stage.
I am a disco dancer.
Take yourself back to the disco era of the 80s with live singing, retro costumes, elaborate dance sequences and English dialogues. November 16th to the 20th at Sadler's Wells Theatre, London. Book your tickets now at sadlerswells.com. Exclusive radio partner, Leica Radio and Leica Gold.
Hustle World now provides flight tickets to all the destinations as well as fit-to-fly RT-PCR tests. Visit hustleworld.com or call 0300 124 6500 for exclusive flight rates at All Protected.
सब जरूरतों में साथ निभाएं जैसे
सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर
हर मौके पर काम ये आए घर घर खुशियां लाए
जहां जिंदगी वहां सेटको माइक्रोवेव फूड कंटेनर्स
Start Tours, UK's leading European tour operator with a multi-award-winning service including Indian food. Visit startours.co.uk or call 0208 900 2323. Book now to get 10% off all 2023 tours. Schengen visa services offered.
Jay's Entertainment पेश करे छे अपना टाइम आएगा, a Gujarati laughter roller coaster starring Firoz Bhagat, Apra Mehta, Kinjal Bhatt, Prithvi Pancholi and many others at Hatchend High School, Harrow, HA36NR. Saturday 29th of October from 7 p.m. Tickets मारे आज ही फोन करो मेहुल पटेल ने on 07812201171 या अनीसा ने on 07958555647. Tickets are £20 per person. First come, first seat basis. कांके अपना टाइम आएगा. Anuj Chopra Foundation proudly presents from Indian TV's musical talent shows to sensational singers Nachiket Lele and Priyanshi Srivastav live in concert accompanied by Bollywood band. Don't miss out on this one night only event Sunday 13th of November at the Queen's Theatre in Romford. For box office call 01708 443 333 or visit queens-theatre.co.uk. Tickets £40. The show starts at 6 p.m.
सुहागनों का श्रृंगार करवा चौथ का त्योहार 13 अक्टूबर को धूमधाम से मनाइए. पूजा सामग्री और श्रृंगार, चूड़ियां, सिंदूर, पूजा की थाली, गड़वी, ताजे फल, नारियल और सरगी का सामान सीरा कैश एंड कैरी से ले आइए. सीरा कैश एंड कैरी, अमृत हाउस, स्प्रिंगफील्ड रोड, हेज, UB4 0JT. Call 020-8569-112.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. Well, over the last 2 weeks, the news outlets have been dominated by the mini-budget, the change to the mini-budget, and the speeches and deliberations of the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Kwasi Kwarteng. Now, we all know that there is an energy crisis going on, and we also know that the government has put forward a package to help people with their costs. But to your average high street accountant, how are these challenges handled? My next guest on the programme is Zishan Bawani, who is an accountant working for Smartfield Accountants in Leicester. He works with business owners to resolve their tax investigations, and he also undertakes proactive tax planning to save tax. He's been an accountant for the last 14 years. Let's go over to Leicester and talk to Zishan Bawani. Good morning, Zishan.
Good morning, Keith.
Now tell me something. When you see this stuff going on television, you know that at the end of the day, your clients are going to be ringing you up, knocking on your door saying, how does this affect us? How important is it when you have events like a mini budget to your average high street accountant? I'm not saying you're average, you're obviously exceptional, but when you see these announcements, does it really have any effect on your day-to-day life?
It does have a big impact because what we notice is that when these announcements happen, clients sometimes they feel anxious about different changes. For example, if there's a rise in tax, and some become overjoyed or delighted with an announcement of reduction in tax. Like for example, we saw with this 45% tax that was initially announced to be abolished, and then the Chancellor had to take a U-turn on it because the markets responded very negatively to it. So it's always a challenge.
Now, one of the things that you do, and one of the things that everyone has to pay tax, of course. We have a progressive tax system. The more you earn, the more you have to pay. But one of your jobs as an accountant is to, I assume, try to save people from paying too much tax. It's not called avoidance anymore. It's called tax planning. Are there more and more people coming in asking for your help on tax planning these days? More than, say, when you first started in practice 14 years ago?
I think HMRC, they're now giving a lot of tax breaks, for which reason people are interested in them. For example, R&D tax relief. So that results in reduction in corporation tax. Annual investment allowance, like for example, when you purchase new IT equipment for the office, you're allowed to claim more of allowances. There's super deduction where you can claim 130% on any new items that you've purchased for the business. So there are many tax planning opportunities, and these are box standard basic offered by HMRC directly to business owners. But some of them are not aware of it, so it's our job to then make them aware and claim it for them.
Exactly, that's the point I was going to make. The vast majority of people simply don't know. They get their form, they fill it in, they send it back. I'm sure you're an avid follower of TikTok. There was something on TikTok recently to say that during the COVID pandemic, if you were at home for one day or a series of days, you could claim a tax break because of the costs of your heating and your lighting. I mean, I would never have known about something like that. Do you think that these tax breaks should be told to people in a much more open way, rather than people having to go to people like you and others to find out what's going on?
I think in all fairness, HMRC are trying to do that by making more information available. But business owners, they are so busy with the day-to-day running of the business that I think they don't have the time to go and look for these news alerts and dig this information out. So the accountancy profession and the accountants, they have that job to bring all that information to the business owner's attention.
I mean, if anyone has tried to ring HMRC, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I've had so many people tell me that they're waiting for literally hours to get their calls answered. Is there an easier way of getting a response from HMRC? I would have thought they'd love to have people ring them up so they can take more tax away from people.
No. They have got more advisors on the phone, but I do know, yes, that the waiting times are very long. And for that reason, they've now even started the web chat. But again, like you mentioned, it's not easy to know all these reliefs which are available. Even if you call the HMRC, they're not going to give you a list of reliefs available. so
You're right. They're not going to try and make sure their income goes back. Zeeshan Bhawani of Smart Fuel Accountants in Leicester, thank you for coming on the program and telling us about what is out there and what people can claim. I'm sure you are going to go through a very busy period from now until the 31st of January 2023. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me on the show, and best wishes to all the listeners of Leica Radio.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
That's it for this week. Time's up. My thanks to Kazima Pantawala, Sanjay Anand MBE, and Zeeshan Bhawani. Special thanks to my researcher Jemit, producer Rupi, and my editor Adam. Let's close with Ding Dang with Amit Mishra and Antara Mitra, which has had 337 million views on YouTube. Please stay tuned to Leica Radio, Britain's greatest Asian radio station. Even if you're at the Diwali lights in Leicester, I'm sure you can tune in. This has been Talking Points on Leica Radio with Keith Vaz, broadcasting from London. Have a great Sunday.
मेरी शान भंग करती है, डे नाइट ये कॉल करती है, मेरी शान भंग करती है, डे नाइट ये कॉल करती है, कभी गड्डी में ले जाओ कभी शॉपिंग करा, हर रोज ये तंग करती है, मेरी वाली डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करती है, ये मेरी वाली डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करती है, ये मेरी वाली डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करती है।
मुझे व्हाट्सएप ये करता है, लोकेशन चेक करता है, तुम यहाँ पे न जाना तुम वहाँ पे न जाना, सारा रोज ये शक करता है, मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है, ये मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है, मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है, ये मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है। टेंटरम एक नंबर की नहीं है शर्म, खुद को समझे सुपर हीरो, मुझको थोड़ा लगता पानी कम,
मेरे नखरे दो ना झेले अपने साथ दिखलाती है, लव की ABCD पढ़ना मुझको क्या सिखलाती है,
कभी रूड बन जाता एटीट्यूड दिखाता, कभी टू मच लव करता है, मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है, ये मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है, मेरा वाला डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग डिंग डंग करता है।
ये दिल्ली वाली लड़कियां होती है ऐसी, पड़ेगी पीछे तो करती है ऐसी तैसी मैं नहीं बनना जो देखा तूने सपनों में अच्छे से तो देख जो आ गया हूँ सामने ले आ गया मैं नियर अब करना कोई फियर आज करेंगे खुल के बेबी सब टंटा क्लियर तुझे जब से मैं हो गई हूँ संती माइंड में बजने लगी है मेरे घंटी 24 घंटे अब तो करूँगी तेरा पीछा देखे मेरी मम्मी जाए देखे मेरी आंटी कभी गड्डी में ले जाओ कभी शॉपिंग करा हर रोज ये तंग करती है मेरी वाली डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करती है ये मेरी वाली डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करती है ये मेरी वाली डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करती है ये मेरा वाला डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करता है मेरा वाला डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करता है ये मेरा वाला डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग डिंग डांग करता है
London on 1458 AM and DAB. Smart speakers.